Betwaboo, beautiful people. Betwaboo, Betwaboo. Top of the day, top of the day. Some of you are wondering why we are here on Saturday, but if you have been here, you would know why we're here today. All right, y'all. My notes. I'll also put it. All right, people. I had to make that note. All right, y'all. It is Saturday, May the 2nd, 2020. And we are on day 135, and we will be reading Ezra 4, 5, and 6 today. But first, let me share with you this little dream that I had last night. Well, it wasn't last night. Yesterday, and I called my mom, my sister, and my aunt, and told them about it. Okay, so I was sitting upstairs yesterday. We was watching a movie. Well, I wasn't really watching a movie. I was sitting in a rocking chair. Bella was sitting on my lap on the iPad looking at some cartoons, right? So I was rocking in a rocking chair, and I just closed my eyes. And as I was rocking in the rocking chair, I dozed off. You know how you go to sleep and you like in between like that sleep but not quite sleep, but you're still aware of what's going on around you. It was like I was in that particular state right there, and I saw it, and my eyes wouldn't even close like 2 minutes. So I closed my eyes, and because me and James, we was just talking, we was sitting there, and she was on my lap and I was rocking. So I closed my eyes and I went in between like that almost sleep state but not sleep state. And what I saw my family and all of those who was Yahuwah's people. We were like in a line, like shoulder to shoulder, like if you stand in a line, but everybody turned around facing forward, and everybody's like shoulder to shoulder. There was a line. It was a long line of us, and we were all we were dressed in like ragged clothes. Okay, if you ever seen a movie with orphans, like Orphan Annie, you know how they look. Their face is kind of dirty, and their clothes, you can tell the clothes were old and they were like tattered, and some didn't have on shoes, or maybe they had on older shoes, but you can tell these shoes are straight out the 30s and they dusty and stuff. That's how we looked. But then across from us, there was another line of people. They were facing us, but they had on beautiful garments. And we were standing there and we were looking at, we were like unmovable. Our line of family, it was like family. I could see my family and some other people that I didn't quite know by name, but I knew that they were part of us. They were part of our family. It was a line of us. We were standing there, and then just like that, our clothing switched. We were no longer the orphans. Like, we were immediately like made clean, and I could see, it was almost like a slow motion, but it was fast, and I could see our appearances change, like from the top down. It was like, you guys ever seen that cartoon Cinderella, when her fairy godmother comes and she like sprinkled the magic on her, and you see like the little dust fall over her, and she began like turn around and her clothing begins to change. Okay, it wasn't that dramatic, but it's like that's what I saw. I saw us begin to change from the top down, and our garments were no longer ragged and tatted, but they were beautiful. But all the tattered clothing we had on was now on the people who were across from us. It's like we became beautiful, and for lack of a better words, and they became the orphans or the dirty ones or whatever. And it was, and my eyes weren't closed. Well, my eyes were closed, but I was like in that dream state sleep, not even 2 minutes. And it felt so, it was like I could feel the changing of the clothing on my body. And even we became bright. We were just beautiful, and the garments that we had on, they were colorful, and they were so beautiful. I've never seen anything this beautiful in my life. Garments that were beautiful like we had on. And I woke up. But when I woke up, it was like, because it was like, it seemed like I was there. It was almost like it was almost like I left my body, but I'd come back. And it was like I was taking a breath, like, and James, he's like, what is wrong? I said, oh my God, let me just tell you what I just saw. And so he was like, wow. And so I had to get up. I called my mom and them on like the Google Duo with multiple of us and stuff. And then but my sister was on the phone talking to my other aunt. So after I got done telling them that, I called them and put them up there, and I was telling them about it. Oh my gosh, y'all, that dream was absolutely amazing. That's one of the few times that I've actually felt a dream like I was there. Like, I don't know whether I was in the body or out of the body, but it felt so real. It's like when I woke up, I took the breath, like like it shocked me. It didn't shock me, but it shocked me. I'm like, oh my gosh. When I popped up, I almost dropped Bella on the floor because I forgot she was on my lap and we were in a rocking chair. But that's what I wanted to share with y'all. I wish that I could explain it better the way I saw it. It was so real, but I feel that there's definitely a change coming for you who is people. Like, we're no longer going to be looked at like the orphans, like no one cares for us. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, when I tell you it felt real, I've never felt anything more real in my life, or with the exception of a few other dreams that were similar like that. And even in those dreams, I literally could feel my body changing, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if you guys ever had a dream that seemed real like that, but it seemed real, and you could feel the changing of your body, if that makes sense, so. All right, y'all. So, but that was my dream. So let me go ahead and get started with the reading. We are reading Ezra chapter 4, 5, and 6. And the reading is not that long. We're just going to get right to it and go ahead and be out of here because I really wanted to share that dream with y'all today. All right, Ezra chapter 4. Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity built the temple unto Yahuwah the God of Israel, then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the forefathers and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your God as you do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Ashur, which brought us up hither. But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us to build a house unto our God, but we ourselves together will build a house unto Yahuwah the God of Israel, as King Cyrus the king of Persia hath commanded us. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in the building. It was like they were trying to frighten them, keep them from doing what they were there to do, and they were rebuilding the temple, and they didn't like that. They about to create all kind of trouble for Yahuwah's people because they want that land and they don't want to go. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in the building, and hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus the king of Persia, even unto the reign of Darius king of Persia. And in the reign of Ahasuerus, in the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem. And in the days of Artaxerxes wrote Bishlam, Mithridath, Tabeel, and the rest of their companions unto Artaxerxes, king of Persia. And the writing of the letter was written in the Syrian tongue and interpreted in the Syrian tongue. Rehum, the chancellor of Shimshai, the scribe, wrote a letter against Jerusalem to Artaxerxes the king in this sort. Then wrote Rehum, the chancellor, and Shimshai, the scribe, and the rest of their companions, and the Dinites, the Ephrathchites, the Tarpelites, and the Susanchites, the Dahavites, and the Elamites, and the rest of the nations whom the great and noble ass snapper brought over, and set in the cities of Samaria, and the rest of them that are on this side of the river, and at such a time. This is the copy of the letter that they sent unto him, even unto Artaxerxes the king, thy servants, the men on this side of the river, and at such a time. Be it known unto the king that the Jews which came up from thee to us are come up to Jerusalem, building the rebellious and the bad city, and have set up the walls thereof and joined the foundations. Remember when Yahuwah said, since y'all don't want to take care of my land, I'm gonna bring another nation. I'm gonna kick y'all out, saying y'all are rebellious, stiff-necked people, and they knew that. They knew that's why they were coming. They knew they could only take over the land if Yahuwah had stepped aside and allowed it to happen. So now they still think, but they forget that Yahuwah said it will not always be this way. I'll bring you back into the land, but they ain't trying to give it up now. Be it known unto the king that the Jews which came up from thee unto us are coming to Jerusalem, building the rebellious and the bad city, and have set up the walls thereof and joined the foundations. Be it known now unto the king that if this city be built and the walls set up again, then will they not pay toll, tribute, and custom, and so thou shalt and damage the revenue of the king. So they were pissed. So they knew if the people moved back in the land, they weren't going to be getting paid anymore. Like, they were extracting, like they said, the taxes and tolls, everything. They was taking the money for the people to come sojourn through the land. But now they come and living here. They about to lose all this money that they, hold on, I read 14 again. Now because we have maintenance from the, 13. Be it known now unto the king that if this city be built and the walls set up again, then they will not pay toll, tribute, and custom, and so thou shalt endanger the revenue of the kings. Now, because we have maintenance from the king's palace, and it was not meet for us to see the king's dishonor, therefore have we sent and certified the king, that such may be in the book of the records of thy fathers. So shalt thou find in the book of the records, and know that this city is a rebellious city and hurtful unto the kings and provinces, and they have moved sedition within the same of old time, for which cause was this city destroyed. We certified the king that if this city be built again, and the walls thereof set up, by this means thou shalt have no portion on this side of the river. Then sent the king an answer unto Rehum the chancellor, and to Shimshai the scribe, and to the rest of their companions that dwell in Samaria, and unto the rest beyond the river, peace in such a time. The letter which ye sent unto us hath been plainly read before me, and I commanded, and search hath been made, and it is found that this city of old time hath made insurrection against the kings, and that rebellion and sedition have been made therein. There have been mighty kings also over Jerusalem, which have ruled over all countries beyond the river, and toll and tribute and custom was paid unto them. Give ye now the commandment to cause these men to cease, and that this city be not built until another commandment shall be given from thee. Take heed now that if ye fail not to do this, why should damage grow to the hurt of the kings? Now, when the copy of King Artaxerxes' letter was read before Rehum and Shimshai the scribe and their companions, they went up in haste to Jerusalem unto the Jews, and made them to cease by force and power. Then ceased the work of the house of Yahuwah, which is at Jerusalem. So it ceased until the 2nd year of the reign of Darius, the king of Persia. Like, they was like, we is not having this. Jerusalem, they ruled the entire earth when they were in power. We can't let this happen again. Like our kingdoms that we've built, we cannot let this happen. Yahuwah said this is exactly what's going to happen again. When his people come out of this last and final captivity, when we are returned to our land, we will again rule the entire earth. All right, Ezra chapter 5. Then the prophets Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the son of Edo prophesied unto the Jews that were in Judah and Jerusalem in the name of Yahuwah the God of Israel, even unto them. Then rose up Zerubbabel the son of Shealtiel and Jeshua the son of Jozadak, and began to build the house of Yahuwah, which is at Jerusalem, and with them were the prophets of Yahuwah helping them. At the same time came them to Taphni, governor on this side the river, and Shethar Boznai and their companions, and said unto them, Who hath commanded you to build this house and to make up this wall? Then said we unto them after this manner, What are the names of the men that make this building? But the eye of their God was upon the elders of the Jews, and they could not cause them to cease till the matter came to Darius. And then they returned answer by letter concerning this matter. The copy of the letter that Tatni, governor on this side of the river, and Shethar Boznai and his companions, the Apharchites, which were on this side of the river, sent unto Darius the king. They sent a letter unto him, wherein was written thus, Unto Darius the king, all peace. Be it known unto the king that we went into the province of Judea to the house of the great God, which is built with great stones, and timber is laid in the walls. And this work goeth fast on and prospereth in their hands. Like they knew this was the house of the great God. They knew this was Yahuwah's house. And they said, oh, the people have waken up. Thus there, hold on, who commanded, I'll read verse 9 again. I read 8. Be it known unto the king that we went into the province of Judea to the house of the great God, which is built with great stones, and timber is laid in the walls, and this work goeth fast on and prospereth in their hands. Then asked we those elders and said unto them, thus, who commanded you to build this house and to make up these walls? We asked their names also to certify thee, that we might write the names of the men that were the chief of them. And thus they returned us answer, saying, we are the servants of Yahuwah, the God of heaven and earth, and build the house that was built these many years ago, which a great king of Israel built and set up. But after our fathers had provoked Yahuwah, the God of heaven, to wrath, he gave them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, the Chaldean, who destroyed this house and carried away the people into Babylon. But in the first year of Cyrus, king of Babylon, the same king Cyrus made a decree to build this house of Yahuwah, and the vessels of gold and silver in the house of Yahuwah, which Nebuchadnezzar took out of the temple that was in Jerusalem, and brought them into the temple of Babylon. Those did Cyrus the king take out of the temple of Babylon, and they were delivered unto one whose name was Shashbazzar, whom he had made governor, and said unto him, take these vessels, go, carry them on into the temple that is in Jerusalem, and the house of Yahuwah be built in this place. Then came the same Sheshbazzar and laid the foundation of the house of Yahuwah, which is in Jerusalem. And since that time, even unto now, it hath been in this building, and it is not yet finished. Now therefore, if it seem good to the king, let there now be a search made in the king's treasure house, which is there at Babylon, whether it be so, that a decree was made of Cyrus the king to build this house of Yahuwah at Jerusalem, and let the king send his pleasure to us concerning this matter. So now they're writing a letter back. They say, king, they are telling you have troops. When King Cyrus was ruling, he commanded that all the things that King Nebuchadnezzar had taken from this temple, that they be returned. He said, because he felt and knew that the God of heaven was commanding him to send his people back to rebuild his temple. He said, now go, don't just take my word for it, king. Go and search your records that are there with you in your kingdom, and go back and see if this decree was indeed written by Cyrus the king when he was ruling. Because this command, it still stands. So we're about to find out what happened, right? Last chapter for the day, Ezra chapter 6. Then Darius the king made a decree, and search was made in the house of the rolls, where the treasures were laid up in Babylon. And there was found at Achmethah, in the place that is in the province of the Medes, a roll, and therein a record was thus written. In the first year of Cyrus, king of the same Cyrus the king, made a decree concerning the house of Yahuwah at Jerusalem. Let the house be built, I skipped the line. I'll start at 3 again. In the first year of Cyrus the king, the same Cyrus the king, made a decree concerning the house of Yahuwah at Jerusalem. Let the house be built, the place where they offered sacrifices, and let the foundations thereof be strongly laid, and the height thereof 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 60 cubits, with 3 rows of great stones, and a row of new timber. Let the expense be given out of the king's house, and also let the golden and silver vessels of the house of Yahuwah, which Nebuchadnezzar took forth out of the temple which is at Jerusalem, and brought unto Babylon, be restored, and brought again unto the temple which is at Jerusalem, every one to his place, and place them in the house of Yahuwah. Now therefore Tatni, governor beyond the river, Shethar-Boznai, and your companions, the Arphaxadites, which are beyond the river, be ye far from thence. Let the work of this house of Yahuwah alone. Let the governor of the Jews and the elders of the Jews build this house of Yahuwah in his place. Moreover, I make a decree what ye shall do to the elders of these Jews for the building of this house of Yahuwah, that of the king's goods, even the tribute beyond the river, forthwith expenses be given unto these men, that they should not be hindered. So the king, when he saw that, he said, okay, y'all was tripping. Y'all thought we wouldn't find this out. Leave those men alone. This decree was made, let them build. And he said, moreover, y'all are to help them. Anything that they have need of, you get it out of my treasure and you give to them and let them build this house again. Verse 9, and that which they have need of, both young bullocks and rams and lambs for the burnt offerings of the God of heaven, wheat, salt, wine, and oil, according to the appointment of the priests which are at Jerusalem, let it be given them day by day without fail, that they may offer sacrifices of sweet savors unto the God of heaven, and pray for the life of the king and of his sons. And he said, while you're doing this, pray for my household, pray for me, pray for my sons, pray for my kingdom. Also, I have made a decree that whosoever shall alter this word, let timber be pulled down from his house, and being set up, let him be hanged thereon, and let his house be made a dunghill for this. And he said, if anybody get away, pull a beam of wood from his house, hang him on it, and then burn him and his entire family in his house. Let his entire house become a heap of rubble and a dunghill. And Yahuwah have caused his name to dwell there. Destroy all the kings and people that shall put their hand to alter, and to destroy this house of Yahuwah which is at Jerusalem. I, Darius, have made a decree. Let it be done with speed. Then Tatni, governor on this side of the river, Shethar-Boznai, and their companions, according to that which Darius the king had sent, so they did speedily. And the elders of the Jews built, and they prospered through the prophesying of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the son of Iddo. And they built and finished it according to the commandment of the God of Israel, and according to the commandment of Cyrus and Darius and Artaxerxes, king of Persia. Now you got 3 pagan heathen kings helping to rebuild the house of Yah. And this house was finished on the 3rd day of the month Adar, which is in the 6th year of the reign of Darius the king. And the children of Israel, the priests and the Levites, and the rest of the children of the captivity, kept the dedication of the house of Yahuwah with joy. And they offered at the dedication of this house of Yahuwah 100 bullocks, 200 rams, 400 lambs, and for a sin offering for all of Israel, 12 he-goats according to the number of the tribes of Israel. And they set up the priests in their divisions, and the Levites in their courses, for the service of Yahuwah, which is at Jerusalem, as it is written in the book of Moses. And the children of the captivity kept the Passover upon the 14th day of the first month. For the priests and the Levites were purified together, all of them were pure, and killed the Passover for all the children of the captivity, and for their brethren, the priests, and for themselves. And the children of Israel, which were come out again of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land, to seek Yahuwah the God of Israel, did eat, and kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with joy. For Yahuwah had made them joyful, and turned the heart of the king of Assyria unto them, to strengthen their hand in the work of the house of Yahuwah the God of Israel. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. That was Ezra 4, 5, and 6. And we learned about the enemies of Israel and how they kept them, or how they tried to keep them from rebuilding the temple this particular time. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and do the blessing and get out of here. And it is found where? Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. And remember, the first part of that chapter, verses 1 through 21, is about the Nazirite vow. A man or a woman can take a Nazirite vow and dedicate themselves unto Yahuwah for a period of time. And the requirements for doing that are listed in there. All right, y'all. Verse 22. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, on this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, may Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people, I love y'all, and I will see y'all bright and early in the morning, Sunday morning, 7:30 a.m. All right, y'all, see you in the morning. Peace.